Hello there, everybody. I'm Mr. GamePie, and welcome to a new Let's Play, Super Mario Land 2. This is a game for the Game Boy, and it's a good one. Definitely a game from my childhood. But yeah, basically, starting off here, the plot of the game is that this takes place pretty much right after Super Mario Land 1, which I haven't done a Let's Play of, but for those who aren't in the know, in Super Mario Land 1, Mario went off to Sarasa Land, which, as people may know, is the place that Daisy rules. You know, Princess Daisy. Might have known her from a bunch of Mario side games. And now, Mario has come home to his castle. However, there is an issue. Namely, Wario, in his first appearance, I might add, has taken over Mario's castle and all of Mario Land. Perhaps the Mario Land from Mario Party 2? Probably not. I don't think that game was out at the time, actually. But yeah, now Mario has to go around and take his castle back, essentially. There's no Princess Peach, there's no Luigi, it's just Mario saving the day. That is his own day, as opposed to a Princess's Day, or a Bean's Day, or anything like that. Just, Mario's gotta get his castle back. Wario's a jerk. Alright, so in this game we have the spin jump, which you can do by jumping and then holding down. As in, like, just down on the controller. Now, this game has two main power-ups. It has the Fire Flower, which I have right now, and it also has another power-up that I'll be getting to later whenever we actually see it. Notably, this is the Game Boy player, so it has color. However, this was meant to be played on the original black and white Game Boy. So everything is essentially monochrome. It could be monochrome anyway. And because of this, a lot of things that would normally be represented by color in the Mario series are instead represented by different shapes. For example, normally whenever Mario grabs a Fire Flower, he'll change his colors. However, in this game, he just gets this little feather on his hat, so that you can actually tell that he has a fire power. And one-ups, instead of being green mushrooms, are hearts. So walking around Mario Land here, we can see that we actually have a hub world of sorts, showing off a variety of areas that we can go to. That's something that's kind of unique about this game, is that instead of being a linear progression of World 1 to World 2 to World 3, you can actually choose which order you go through the worlds. In fact, you can quit worlds mid-world and decide to go to another area if you find that you're getting stuck somewhere. As for myself, though, I'm starting off with Tree Zone because that's always how I've played the game. Honestly, you know, starting off with the grassy area is typically how games go, so yeah, that's how we do it around here. Yeah, one thing that this game seems to like to do a lot is put Mario in situations where he's a lot smaller than anything else. Or maybe the world around him is larger than normal, I don't know. But yeah, as you can see here, this is actually in the roots of this giant tree that we're going to be climbing. I mean, what is this? Frontier Village from Xenoblade Chronicles? Not like I've been streaming that game or anything. Finished streaming that game. Yeah, I mean, here we find a lot of interesting enemies, like these frog enemies that'll stick out their tongues. These things that I'm not entirely sure what they are. Just, I want to call them dragonflies off the top of my head, but honestly, they don't really look like dragonflies at all. And for some reason, I kept hitting the side of them. And there's these guys, they look like hedgehogs. You know, like a certain other video game character that happened to be a rival with Mario, that we know of. And then there's moles that come out of the ground with these drill noses. Whoa, okay, don't want to touch that frog. Don't want their little Yoshi tongues to come after me. Wouldn't that be ironic? Maybe. Depending on if I'm using the right definition of ironic or not. As is the case in most Mario games, once you get to the end of a level, you have a chance to do something special to sort of end your level off in a particularly exciting way. For example, in Super Mario Bros., the original game, you had the flagpole at the end of the level, Whereas in Super Mario Bros. 3, you would have the tile game at the end of the level. Well, here, at the end of every level, there's a bell above the goal, high above the goal. And by completing the level in the correct way, you'll hit the bell, and you'll be treated to one of the end-of-level mini-games that I've been playing. And we've already seen both the mini-games that are available. There's one that's a conveyor belt, where you have to time the crane coming down at an appropriate time. And another, which is basically you choose a button, and a spark goes up a series of lines, and whatever item it reaches is the item that you get. And there's going to be two little mouse characters that will break two of the wires, so you can't just be like, oh yeah, this wire is definitely going to be the one that I need to hit, because you don't know where the mice will be. But yeah, now we've actually gone inside the tree, and we've got lots of sap here that we can sort of swim around in. This isn't actually the swimming physics of the game, it's more like it just gives you access to infinite jumps. But here we're going to find our first instance of the other power-up of the game, the Super Carrot, I think that's what it's called, but it gives you the bunny hood. And with the bunny hood, you can float around, kind of like the cape of Super Mario World, or the tanuki, or raccoon tail of Super Mario Bros. 3. And, yeah, basically, with the bunny hood, whenever you're holding down the A button, it considers you to be infinitely pressing the A button. So, for example, normally in the sap, I would have to press the A button repeatedly to keep going up. But because I have the bunny hood, I can just keep holding down the A button, and it's infinitely pressing the A button for me. I'm just sticking onto the top of the ceiling, no problem. Or, if I were to land on the ground right now, it would just have me continuously jumping on the ground. Unfortunately, the bunny hood does come with one weakness, where I mentioned earlier that the spin jump is in this game. You cannot spin jump with the bunny hood. Now in this game, there are a variety of secret exits, and I'm about to show you one right here. Every world, except for 2, has exactly one secret exit. One of the worlds has 2 secret exits, and another one doesn't have any. And these secret exits will lead to extra bonus levels, where you can often get extra coins and power-ups and all sorts of good stuff. It'll give you extra lives, and it's gonna be a good time. You're gonna get lots of good stuff out of it. Yeah, you might notice down there at the bottom of the screen that right now I have like 200-something coins, and you're almost 250, now 250. This is because getting 100 coins doesn't give you an extra life in this game. Instead, there's actually a section on the hub world where there are slot machines. And by accessing these slot machines, you can get extra lives and power-ups and such by spending your coins at them. And I'll be doing that as time goes on. Also, you can actually spin jump on question blocks to get items inside of them. And it's not like the new Super Mario games, where ground pounding a question block will result in the item coming out from the bottom of it. No, even if you spin jump on a block, the item will still come out of the top. One sad thing about the secret exits is that you still end up having to play the level all the way through after you're done with it. But hey, one nice thing about this game is that even though the hub world is non-linear, even the levels themselves tend to be a little bit non-linear. I mean, first of all, there's the secret exits that I talked about, but then there's also often alternate pathways that you can take in the levels. So, up here, coming pretty soon, in the previous run-through, I went down this sap area into an area where I had to use the Super Carrot to jump across a big spike pit. But here this time, I'm going to take the upper path that's a little bit more obvious to find. And you'll find that this pathway is quite different, where I'm actually using sap to navigate the spikes. Now, each world, it has sort of an elemental theme, or, general thematic, but it also tends to have a gameplay thematic. And Tree Zone's gameplay thematic is actually quite strange for, a first world, in that its main thematic is things that you cannot actually fight. And, the first level didn't really make that obvious, but in this level, there's just tons of spikes all over the place, and that's the main gameplay mechanic. And as we get into the next couple levels, this will become even more obvious. Trust me. But with that said, I think that's going to be it for this time. And next time, we're going to be taking on one of these two potential levels. Things get even more non-linear. See you then!